So you have a new member of your family, whether it's a puppy or it's a rescue that's being rehomed. You're excited about the possibility of having your dog be part of everything in your life. But very quickly you realize that it's not healthy or practical to have the dog be part of everything that you do, and certainly not to be the center of everything that you do. So we recommend that all dogs be crate trained and be taught that the crate is a good place, a place for them to relax, a place for them to unwind, and certainly a place for them to be calm and quiet. So we want you to start introducing your dog to the crate in short little sessions, not when you leave the home, but when you're home. I want you to be able to put the dog in the crate while you unload the dishwasher, fold a load of laundry, get the kids ready for school. Make dinner, right? Watch the news. I want you to randomly be able to put them in their crate while you're doing something else. And I want them to be calm and relaxed when they are in the crate, not barking and demanding your attention. Unfortunately, most people make the common mistake of only crating their dog when they're leaving or they're going to bed. The problem with that is it associates the crate with separation or being left behind. So you've already given that crate a negative connotation by the way you've presented it to the puppy or the dog. So I want you to think about what exactly you want the dog to be doing while he's in the crate. I want him to be relaxed and quiet and enjoying himself. So how can I cause my dog to be relaxed, quiet, and enjoying himself in the crate while I'm doing something else? How can I avoid him from being anxious and barking in the crate? So we're going to use what we will refer to as a babysitter to do that. The babysitter is something that's going to occupy your dog's attention while he's in the crate, and it's going to associate the crate with positive experiences, not associating the crate with isolation, separation, or anything that might cause a dog to be anxious. So here's a couple babysitters that you can use. One is called a bleached bone, right? Or this company calls it a white bone. And it's actually a bone that has been bleached and cleaned of all the residue, all the meat, all the blood, all the other stuff that comes with it. So it's just a hollow bone. It can be run through your dishwasher so that it can be kept clean for your dog. So this is one of the babysitters. Another babysitter that you will be using is a Kong toy, K-O-N-G. This obviously is for a very small dog. And this is what we would recommend for your Labradoodles, your Golden Retrievers, your Mastiffs, right? So your medium to larger dogs. Somewhere in between these two sizes, there's also a medium. Okay, they can be purchased at most quality pet stores. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we know you're going to be feeding your dog anyway, right? Once, twice, 3 times a day. We look at those feeding times as opportunities to associate the crate with a positive experience and give you time to get a few things done around the house. Because remember, all dogs need supervision, right? Especially young puppies and especially dogs that are being brought in our home as rescues. They're not familiar with the environment. There's too many things for them to make poor choices with when they're not being supervised. So we need to be able to crate them when we can't directly supervise them. So your dog's going to be in and out of that crate many times throughout the day. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes here, okay? So these babysitters are going to help you. So you're going to feed your dog 2 or 3 times a day. So we're going to take advantage of that process. So what I would recommend is that you're going to take your dog's kibble or dry food, right? Whatever you're feeding. This is obviously for a small dog. But let's say you feed your dog a cup of food. You're going to take that dry kibble, put it in a bowl, and saturate it with a little warm water, okay? You know, maybe 1/4 cup, no more than 1/2 cup. I want this, after it soaks for about 5 minutes, I want the kibble to be moist, not falling apart, but still not crunchy, okay? So you're going to moisten it. Then you're going to take that moistened kibble and you're going to pack it inside of this rubber Kong toy. Just pack it right in there with a spoon. Then you're going to take this rubber Kong toy and you're going to put it in the freezer. And that's going to be his next meal. So when it's time for his next meal, you're going to take the frozen Kong that is filled with the frozen kibble, and you're going to put the Kong toy and the dog in his crate. Now your dog's going to spend, I don't know, 20 minutes to an hour slowly licking at this. As it thaws, a piece of kibble falls out, they continue licking, more kibble comes out. It's going to give you time to take a shower or do some other things. It's going to give the dog time in his crate having a positive experience where he's not focused on what he's missing out on, but rather he's focused on something positive. It's also going to teach your dog patience and focus, which is something that's very difficult to teach an animal, right? So they're going to learn through experience. They're going to have patience because if they stay on task, they continue to get rewards, right? And it takes them a while, so they got to be patient. Also, it's going to teach them to focus, stay on task, right? Stay focused on the task. So I would recommend every single meal be fed out of this for a while until your dog is successful with this crate training, until you've got some good skills under wraps, and that way you can start to give your dog a little more freedom because you have more controls. If you don't have any controls, your dog shouldn't be given any freedoms, right? So let's put him in his crate 2 or 3 times a day, let him eat his meal out of this. When he's done, you can run it through the dishwasher and then reload it for the next meal and put it back in the freezer, okay? You can also do that for very small dogs in the small Kong. Same thing, moisten the kibble, fill the Kong toy, put it in the freezer, okay? These Kong toys could also be used with a light smear of peanut butter on the inside. Put it in the freezer, right? Those are little, 15-minute babysitters where you might get almost an hour out of a meal, right? Also, these bleached bones, they're hollow, they're awesome, right? So I do several things with them. I will put a light smear of peanut butter. Don't fill it with peanut butter because your dog's going to get chubby on you. So just a light smear of peanut butter, both ends, keep it in the freezer. Here's one that I have made up for my dog. It's got a little piece of banana on the end and a little smear of peanut butter on the other end, and then that stays in the freezer, right? You can also be creative. You can put a light smear of peanut butter inside the bone and then cut up baby carrots into little tiny bite-sized pieces. And then put a few of those little bite-sized pieces in the bone, stuck to the peanut butter, right? And then put that in the freezer. And then as your dog works on it, wow, valuable cash and prize. It's like a little treasure hunt, right? As they lick, oh, a piece of carrot. And as they lick, oh, some banana, right? So you can make it interesting without making it fattening. You could use little green beans if your dogs like fresh green beans, but slice them tiny. We're not trying to fill their bellies. We're trying to occupy their minds, okay? So these are what we call babysitters. We want you to use them. We want you to do whatever you need to do to cause your dog to spend time in his crate where he's calm and relaxed, and it has nothing to do with separation or being left behind or being isolated, but rather it's a place that he looks forward to going, okay? Crate training is a must. You might think you don't need a crate. Trust me, you need a crate. Your dog needs a crate. Your dog needs a place that's his own, that he can relax in, that he can be contained in when you're too busy to focus on him. So as I raise puppies, I have multiple crates. I'll have a crate in the family room, I'll have a crate in the bedroom, and I'll have a playpen that you can buy online at most dog supply places that you can arrange in different shapes and different sizes. And if it's a nice afternoon, I'll put it out on the deck in the shade, and he gets a little freedom, but yet still is contained, so he's not chewing up my bushes and making poor choices outside, but I'm setting him up for success. So I rotate those puppies from, crate to, okay, let's go outside and go potty, and now you can hang out with me for a few minutes. Oh, but now I've got to get on my computer, so I'm going to put you in the playpen. I'm going to give you a babysitter. I'm going to keep you busy doing things that I want you to do versus you keeping me busy because you're doing things I don't want you to do. So as we raise dogs and bring new dogs into our home, we have to set them up for success. We have to control the environment so that they can only really make good choices, right? The answer isn't allowing them too much freedom so they make poor choices and then you're calling saying, how do I fix this? It's much better to prevent a problem than it is to fix it in the long run. Some people say, well, I don't want to use a crate. I don't think it's right to put a dog. I feel bad for the dog. Well, let me take you back a step. This is not about you, it's about the dog, right? And dogs by nature prefer a small confining space because it gives them safety and security. So if we can teach them that their crate is safe and secure, then it's a good place for them. And honestly, you may think that you don't need a crate, but if your dog becomes ill and has to go and stay at the veterinarian, where do you think they're going to put them? They're going to put them in a crate. And if you have failed by not preparing them for that experience, then it's very stressful. So now you have set your dog who's already compromised, not feeling well, and set them up for a stressful experience because you chose not to prepare them for that. So crates are helpful, right? If you're traveling with your dog and you're at a vacation rental, you're not familiar with the facility, he's not familiar with the environment, his crate is his safe place. He comes to day training, where do you think we're going to put him? When he's not training with his trainers or playing with his classmates, he's in his crate. So please, do your part. Make sure your dog is comfortable in his crate. So if you have any questions or you need help, reach out to our office. But crate training is a must. So let's get started and use your babysitters, okay? Have fun with it.